So Donald Trump is in full panic mode today as more people keep asking more questions. And now you've got this headline: U.S. Congress will subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell to testify about Jeffrey Epstein amid political firestorm. So you have Congress calling for testimony. You also got this: Deputy Attorney General to meet with Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. We just talked about this in the last video. And now you have a member of Congress saying, hey, let's bring him before Congress. Listen to this. This is Tim Burchett, Republican.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett, just leading oversight subcommittee, government operations. Hey brother. Asked some questions to about the GAO, their bid process, but the important thing was that I did a motion to direct the chairman of the full committee to authorize and issue a subpoena for Ghislaine Maxwell to appear before a deposition. And that's it right there. I had it printed out, so I made sure I do it appropriate. Talked to Chairman Comer. He's down with it. We're good. I believe he's going to issue the subpoena. He's a stand-up guy. We just got to get to the bottom of this thing, folks. It's just, it's 4 years, and you know, we don't need to tolerate this stuff anymore. And I'm getting, I get the blowback about folks up here are going to be mad at me, but ultimately, and with all sincerity, excuse me, I'm answering my creator on this issue and what we did about the least amongst us. And we got to send a message to these dirtbags that do this. This is not acceptable behavior. And also a message to the victims that we believe you and that we need to come out of the shadows, and we need to bust these people that do this and send them to hell, because I'm over it. Anyway, before I get myself in any more trouble, thank y'all for sending me here.
So that is a Republican. I mean, you guys heard the word from himself. He's like, hey, I may get some blowback, and I think he's referring to his Republican colleagues in Congress, but I mean, we need to go after these people. And I think he's referring to Trump or anyone involved. I mean, you guys can hear it for himself, and he's like, these dirtbags need to go to hell. Unfortunately, though, not every Republican is like Tim Burchett. Mike Johnson is trying to slow this whole thing down. This was also the headline. Mike Johnson shuts down U.S. House early to avoid Epstein vote, right? So Tim Burchett, making a motion to, hey, let's subpoena Maxwell and, whatever. Democrats obviously are trying to expose the truth in this as well. But yeah, it's the Republicans trying to avoid this stuff. And let's listen to what Johnson has to say about it.
No, but I as you all know, I speak to the president multiple times a day on a typical day, often, always. And what I know about the president's heart on this is that he agrees with everything I've said here today. He wants maximum transparency, but he's also very insistent that we do not subject people who have already been victims of unspeakable crimes to further public scrutiny. And it would be a very dangerous thing to put those people's names out or to do a release of information in a way that is haphazard where they could be easily unmasked. And so you have to be very careful about how you do that. I think we have a moral responsibility to do that. We have a moral responsibility to expose the evil of Epstein, and everybody was involved in that. Absolutely. And we're resolved to do it. But we also have an equal moral responsibility to protect the innocent. And that is a fine needle to thread. And we could all give ourselves easy political cover and come out and do something in a haphazard fashion, but I would not be able to sleep at night because I know our legal responsibility. I understand what the legal standard is, but more than that, the moral standard, okay? So we're going to do this, and we're going to do it expeditiously. We're going to do it the right way. What is popular isn't always right, and what is right isn't always popular. I had an 8th grade teacher tell me that one time. I carried it with me my whole life. We're going to do the right thing here. And the American people at the end will see that we did that in the right way. All
right, so he's claiming they're going to do the right thing as he shuts down Congress early so they avoid a vote. This is what it says here. House largely grinds to halt over Epstein files again. You have many people calling, right? Hey, let's bring people for the subpoena. And Johnson's like, oh, we're going to do things the right way and slow things down. And we got to be careful about unmasking people. I mean, you would literally hear what he's saying. So if you had to ask me, I feel like he's protecting Trump. I think it's kind of easy to see. But, let's read some more. The House will adjourn Wednesday, a day earlier than expected for its month-long recess from Washington after Republicans blocked any legislation from reaching the chamber floor for a vote this week. But I don't think this is going to go away though. Yeah, they can go on recess for a month or whatever. But when they come back, I mean, I don't think this is going to go away. I keep saying before, with the platform, say, for example, Elon Musk, who keeps harping about these things, you can put a bunch of stuff out there. The problem is me personally, I'd rather have stuff come out in Congress so you can verify it, because any number of stuff can come out in social media, and you guys know this. People can release all kinds of things, real or not real. And, I do agree with Johnson in the sense of like, yeah, let's do it the right way. Yeah, do it in Congress, but don't necessarily just call recess. FBI agents were told to flag any Epstein records that mentioned Trump. That's coming from Senator Durbin. They asked Karen Leavitt, the press secretary, about it. This is what she had to say about this thing.
There are reports that President Trump or the FBI agents going through the Epstein files were told to flag President Trump's name if it came up. Is that something the president was aware of, or something that he directed those agents or the Department of Justice to do?
I don't believe that's something the White House was aware of. You'd have to ask the FBI.
So she didn't deny it, right? She's like, well, you ask the FBI. My advice to anyone in the Trump people right now is just get out, be on the right side of history. As Tim Burchett said, if you understand this, yes, you may go blowback from Republicans or whatever, but you do have a moral responsibility, or as Tim Burchett says, you have to answer to your creator. So there's that. Trump is trying to deflect, go after Obama. There's a headline here: President Trump continues attacks on Obama as he shares fake arrest mugshot of predecessor. He shares fake videos, these kind of things. I don't share this kind of stuff because it's just fake. Yes, if you want to find this stuff, you can totally can. Actually, my wife was asking about it. She's like, it reached the screen, is like, why is Trump, sharing fake crap, right? And, this stuff's dangerous, guys, this fake images. So, for example, this is one of the right-wing YouTuber people. He said, the Jerome Powell letter is fake. Please don't share it. Sorry, bad luck. I still want Jerome Powell to resign really bad. So Benny Johnson, right, who received money from Russia. Some of the other influencers did. If you guys know this is something that's widely public. But these kind of people, they do share fake stuff. And at least to Benny Johnson's credit, at least he's apologizing here. But I mean, the problem is the damage can be done where you share fake stuff. So just be careful out there, the stuff that you see.
Mr. President, do you support the Justice Department seeking a new interview with Ghislaine Maxwell? Did you urge the Attorney General to seek one?
I don't know anything about it. They're going to what? Meet her?
Your Deputy Attorney General has reached out to Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney asking for a new interview.
Yeah, I don't know about it, but I think it's something that sounds appropriate to do, yeah.
Do you have any concern that your Deputy Attorney General, as your former attorney, would be conducting the interview, given...
No, I have no concern. He's a very talented person. He's very smart. I didn't know that they were going to do it. I don't really follow that too much. It's sort of a witch hunt, just a continuation of the witch hunt. The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold, Tulsi Gabbard. What they did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up to 2020 in the election. They tried to rig the election, and they got caught. And there should be very severe consequences for that. When we caught Hillary Clinton, I said,
So you have to understand this, and I always want to mention it really clearly. Whenever Trump is talking, he's honestly just talking about himself, right? Because that's how he sees the world, right? He thinks that everyone is just like him. Oh, well, it must be Obama, it must be Clinton, this kind of stuff, right? And it's interesting because... he's like, oh, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I never heard anyone talking about, Maxwell. I never knew, right? So he tweets out this stuff about this stuff every day, like about the Epstein thing. And he's like, acts like he doesn't talk about it. It's so ridiculous. Mark Warner's calling him out because Trump and Tulsi Gabbard are trying to create this furor. Oh, blame Obama, blame Biden, blame, Hillary, that kind of stuff. Let's see what Mark Warner has to say, Senator.
Over the weekend, DNI Gabbard, who anybody who's followed these know how I feel about, was again trying to maybe divert from Epstein, trying to rehash the 2016 Russia investigation, where no one ever claimed Russia altered votes, but everyone claimed that Russia tried to interfere on Trump's behalf. Well documented, well vetted, the Senate Intelligence, bipartisan, unanimous report, the Mueller report, and now Gabbard, in her next effort of trying to politicize, is actually threatening legal action against former employees of the intelligence community and others. I mean, is there not anyone going to stand up against this politicization? The country needs an independent intelligence community that speaks truth to power, not that makes up fables to try to please Donald Trump.
And, this is something that I try to emphasize also on the channel is for any discussion, be it markets, be it news, be it politics, I think the average person just wants, hey, just tell me the truth, right? I think that's a reasonable thing to say. And I enjoy having you in the community, right? If you come to the channel, that's what we try to talk about. Hey, I share my opinion. I want your opinion. These are the facts that we see. Let's just get the truth. And I think that's the best way to approach any of this stuff. So, Mark Warner's situation, yeah, just appoint an independent counsel, right? Doesn't have to be partisan in this kind of thing. Just tell us the truth about this stuff. I mean, someone's going to know something, right? There's evidence out there. Let's see it. And as many people say, just release the files, which I totally understand that stuff. Gabbard, right? Tulsi, she's going to try to distract you, say, oh, there's this big conspiracy. It's Obama's fault, right? It's Hillary's fault. It's Biden's fault, that stuff. If you want to read through these things, you can.
Viva, what up, G? I see this as a massive W for guys like you and me, and I don't really care about the haters. It seems like we were right all along, and the best way to get from under this Epstein question is just to be out with it. I celebrate this Ghislaine Maxwell decision. The floor is yours.
Well, no, absolutely. And for those saying just shut up and trust the government, it's a wild thing. I do trust Trump. I don't trust everyone in the administration. I trust key players in the administration. But anybody saying at this point in time to shut up and trust the government, I mean, you've learned nothing. If nothing else, you've learned that there are bad players within the government that might cause an administration you trust to make wrong decisions.
Those are two different right-wingers, right? So Benny seemed to be more against Trump than, I don't know who this other dude is, but he's like, oh, wow, maybe there's bad people there, but I still trust Trump. But I just want to give you guys different points of view on this stuff, right? Regardless of if I agree with everything these people say or not, I think we all generally agree on, hey, just show us the evidence, release the files, right? I think that's a pretty fair assessment. And so that's why I always wanted to show you this also. Trump, though, he's going to still be panicking when asked about this stuff. What does he say?
From your perspective, who should the DOJ target as part of their investigation? What specific figures in the Obama administration?
Well, based on what I read, and I read pretty much what you read, it would be President Obama. He started it. And Biden was there with him, and Comey was there, and Clapper, the whole group was there. Brennan, they were all there in a room, right here. This was the room. This is much more beautiful than it was then, but that's okay. I have nice pictures up. They came out of the vaults. They were in there for 100 years. This is much more beautiful. We have the Declaration of Independence now in the room, which wasn't here. I guess people didn't feel too good about putting it here, but I do. But you know what? If you look at those papers, they have them stone cold, and it was President Obama. It wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too. But the leader of the gang was President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? And except for the fact that he gets shielded by the press for his entire life, that's the one look, he's guilty. It's not a question, I like to say, let's give it time. It's there. He's guilty. This was treason. This was every word you can think of.
All right, so that is a phrase from Trump, and like I always say, he's always talking about himself when he does this stuff. He's guilty. He's guilty. Right? This is Trump's way to confess, essentially. They do this stuff a lot. So want to hear your thoughts on this stuff. I do appreciate your time, and I'll catch you all in the next video.